friends, guests, and adventurers of all ages. Tonight's show is for the brave, the fearless, and the dangerously curious. Witness feats of strength, daring acrobatics, and mystifying magic. Get ready to have the most astounding night of your life. Welcome to the Circus of Wayward Wonders. Welcome to Roll for Combat, 3-Ring Adventure.
Hey everyone, welcome to Roll for Combat 3-Ring Adventure. I'm your GM and host, Stephen Glicker, and in this week's episode, it looks like the camp is more or less clear, but they still haven't found the source of the problem. Perhaps this week they finally will. So one thing I want to mention is that I actually edit these episodes several weeks in advance, but I do these intros only a day or two before they get posted. And I don't always remember what's in the episode now because I have a new method. I used to edit the episodes and then do the intro and the outro and throw it right up like at the last second. But I have become much more efficient and now edit the episodes weeks ahead of time. And I don't even always remember what's in the episode. For example, this week's episode or even last week's episode, I know last week we had the dance-off and we had the big snake fight. And I believe we did a couple things wrong last week. We did Sickened wrong, and we did Evil Eye wrong, and a few things like that, because we didn't realize just how unbelievably horrible Sickened is. But now we do. Sickened is, and Frightened, by the way, same thing, are really, really, really bad. Those are basically a minus to everything. Your AC, your 2 hits, your DCs, so your spell DCs go down, that's right. Everything, and just like every single thing goes down. So, with that in mind, Evil Eye has now become, well, the bane of my existence, because Evil Eye is a witch ability. So this is how it works. He casts it, and he can do it like every combat. It's a focus spell, so Acheron can do it whenever they want. And what happens is you have to make a will save, and even if you succeed the will save, you're Frightened 1, which means you get a -1 to every single thing. If you fail, it's Frightened 2, and if you critically fail, it's Frightened 3. That's really powerful. I know we are using these experimental rules for Witch and Swashbuckler. I really want to get the actual rules, because I don't know if it's OP, but it feels OP, because even failing and having a -1 is pretty strong in Pathfinder. And then if you fail and get a -2, that's a -2 to everything. Every single thing. So the monster has a -2 to its AC, -2 to hit, -2 on all of its saves, -2 on its DC if it's casting spells. That is absolutely ridiculous. Which also makes me think a lot of these monsters have things like fear spells and their own abilities, but you know, they don't work as well with the monsters, because usually what happens is that the monsters are like, you know, there's only 1 or 2 monsters, so the monster goes, it spends its whole turn weakening one member of the party, and then the party goes and pounds on the monster, and then by the time they go, it's too late. Like, they always have something better to do when it's only 1 or 2 monsters than to weaken the party. It's really much better for party members, because you can have the witch weaken the monster, you can then have the frontline fighters beat the crap out of the monsters, you can then have the sorcerer also help out either by healing or beating up the monster. So these abilities that cause Frightened or Sickened are much better for PCs and for tag team. The only time it's really good for monsters is if there's a large number of monsters, or it's sort of a big, long, drawn-out fight. That's really the issue with these ability modifier spells, is that they're great, don't get me wrong, they're great for PCs, but when it comes to monsters, 99% of the time I always have something better to do than to cast one of those spells. It's good for flavor, it's always fun to like cast a fear spell or something like that, but in the end, you know, the monster always has something better to do than to demoralize, or to do a 2-action fear that only affects 1 person. So as I play more and more Pathfinder 2nd Edition, I'll get a better feel for when the monsters should be using their special abilities and when they should just be attacking. Because the thing about monsters is they hit way harder than PCs do, and that's just the nature of how they're built. So the catch is that the spells are exactly the same. The spells for the monsters and the spell for the PCs are identical. So, if a PC casts a spell and a monster casts a spell, there's no difference. But if the PCs attack the monster, just because there's 4 of them, they almost always hit for less damage. But the monster, because there's 1 of them, will always hit for just an absolute massive amount of damage. So, in the action economy in my head, I'm always thinking that an attack for a monster is better than a special ability or a spell, especially a spell, sometimes special ability, but always a spell is almost always a waste. Unless it's a really good spell like a fireball or magic missile or something like that. Anyhow, I think you kind of get the idea of what I'm talking about, is that the spells that affect monsters like Sickened and Feared and Evil Eye and all of those are really, really good. But for monsters doing it to PCs, not so much. It's okay at best. Also, don't forget everyone, if you want to listen to us live, $10 Patreon, we broadcast our games. And we have several people. I actually keep some of the banter with our Patreons in this episode because we'll often talk to you guys while we're playing. And I actually kept it in. In this episode. You can hear us talking to the Patreons. So if you want to become a $10 Patreon, you guys can watch us. Now we're recording about 3 episodes a week. So if you got nothing to do and you want to catch up with the show and watch Black Lodge and Circus, come on down, just become a $10 Patreon, and you too can watch the show several days a week. Or, if you want to get them early, just become a $5 Patreon. And we have other things there too. The higher Patrons get cooler things. You can even play with us. Maybe I'll even do something where you could actually play Black Lodge with us. You could bring your Pathfinder Society character in and play. So, maybe with a higher one. And don't forget everyone, RPG Superstar, go make a monster. Worst thing that happens is nothing happens. The best thing that happens, you'll win a whole bunch of money and prizes and you get your monster in a manual. How cool is that? So check that out, rpgsuperstar.com. It's super, super, super easy to make a monster. The tool does most of the work for you. It's totally free. You don't have to do anything. You can make monsters. You can share them with your friends. It's cool as a tool in its own. And, of course, you can enter the contest, so check that out. Anyhow, with that, let's get to this week's exciting episode. Last we left off, you were looking for clues. You managed to stumble into the woods where Hap found some snakes that she thought she could pet and feed and make friends with. And she found out the hard way that the snakes were only interested in eating her face. And Hap was in bad, bad shape. And then after you killed the baby snakes, the mama snake showed up. And somehow you survived. I don't know how, but you did. You're in kind of bad shape. And you've wandered back to the camp. It's really late, maybe like 3 in the morning. Everyone is sleeping or exhausted after rescuing from the Griggs. I almost forgot about that. You had the Griggs, which started this hoedown. But Hap managed to subdue the Griggs by doing a dance-off. And who won that dance-off? Hap won the dance-off. That's right.
I won the dance-off.
Lauren Sig is playing Hap, the Starlight Sparrow, a human fire elementalist sorcerer.
That's right. So those Griggs, they left. And they left you a little present behind. And you just figured out what that was. A potency crystal, no less. Which is awfully nice. So Hap wins the dance-off. She gets bitten in the face by snakes. And now everyone's going back to relax. And you still have a couple more trailers to check out. And that's where you're at.
Oh, those were very bitey snakes.
Vanessa Hoskins is playing Alhara Varys, the amazingly agile Alhara, a half-elf gymnast swashbuckler.
I'm still kind of woozy from all the poison. I think I'm just going to sit down for a minute.
Yeah, you can sit down. We'll check out the rest of the carts.
Rob Tremarco is playing Darius Varys, Darius's Daring Destructions, a half-elf monk of the mountain style.
Okay, good night, friends.
I guess we'll shout if we need you.
She's already asleep like a little angel.
So it's about 3 in the morning. Everyone has been waiting for you to check out the carts, but after the Grig off, everyone's just tired. Everyone's sleeping, exhausted. Darius is still slowed. Halara is a little bit wounded. Ataran and Hap are fine, although Hap is just woozy and tired after all that snake venom going through her veins.
Ataran had been walking around and guarding the perimeter, checking just in case they would see anything.
Rob Pontius is playing Otteron, Uncanny Otteron's Cauldron of Curious Concoctions, a human witch of curses.
They see something.
What's that? Oh, shoot.
In the southeast, between the wagons, you hear the rustling of leaves and see hundreds of red-eyed rats scurrying about the foliage and under the cart. The rats surround the halfling woman wearing a headdress in the shape of a rat's head, its mouth open, framing her face. "Isn't this a pretty sight?" she crackles, twisting her grip on a gnarled staff. "I'd hoped to murder more of you while the whole town was watching. That would have frightened them away from here from good. But a bigger slaughter might be even better. The foolish farmers and poisoners of Aberton will discover your rat-chewed corpses. No one will know how it happened, but everyone will whisper that nature is taking its revenge. And here it is, through me. I'll wager most of the town will be gone in a week, and the rest will fall easily enough. Then perhaps the land can heal, and the cancer known as Aberton will be destroyed forever."
Can I take just a moment to pause here and say that was a really excellent performance? That was fantastic. I loved that.
Agreed.
Yeah, kudos.
I'd like to go back to Plaguestone, please. At least there weren't hordes of rats there.
Yes, agreed.
So, Ataran hears her, and or she's speaking to him directly? Them?
Ataran saw this first, but since she's coming through the carts and there's so many rats, Ataran saw the rats and was like, "What's that?" And then she just is announcing herself to everyone. Now, here's the thing. The professor is still awake and he's looking up and sees this. Everyone else is more or less asleep or essentially unconscious. You 4 are still awake, and she just seems to be sitting there with her rat army surrounding her. She also has a huge giant rat behind her that she's like petting, and she does that diatribe. What do you do?
Can I say that I stood up somewhere in the middle of the monologue?
Sure.
All right, thanks.
I think you have a better chance of speaking to these people and making a plan for what you need to protect Druidess rather than trying to murder them all. You should choose a peaceful negotiation.
Peaceful? Peaceful? You're killing me. You're killing the land. You're killing everyone. There's only one way to kill.
I have seen dying lands, and that is not these.
That she like freaks out. "How dare you? You know not what you speak. Look around. The land is dying. Crops are wilting. Trees are dying. The land is going to ruin, and it's your fault."
Oh, she doesn't sound too amicable.
You have chosen violence, then?
Maybe there's a way we can fix it, okay? Just calm down and stop sending your rats at us.
The farmers need the land as much as anyone else. They would not poison it.
Indeed.
I have watched this for decades. The land continues to die. The land continues to wither. The farmers, all they do is try to get more out of it. They continuously use more and more land. In fact, they're accelerating the death through their greed.
They may not know. They may not know that there is a problem being caused. Can we help discover what it might be? It can't be the farmers causing it. They are expanding because they need to grow food. The land has always grown food.
And really, current research studies have shown that if you utilize sustainable farming practices, it can actually increase the biodiversity in the ecosystem.
Hap, weren't you asleep? Really though, like if there's a problem with the land, we can fix it. We'll figure it out. There's a lot of resourceful people here. Just stop sending your gross rats at us.
I'd be more than willing to
We
look.
can help.
No,
Just
you
talk with
can't.
us.
No, the townspeople, they're wounding the environment. They're placing the whole world out of balance. They are killing everything. Can't you see? I'm one with nature. I can feel the plants. I can feel the plants. I can feel nature crying, screaming in agony. You know not what you speak.
Darius has been stepping closer and being calm about things, but mostly stepping closer.
Slaughter will not stop the problem. It should be investigated together.
Roll for combat.
Yeah.
Ah, crap. I was going to try to talk her out of it.
Didn't sound like you were going to.
I was going to ask if I could pet her cute little rats.
No, you did that with the snakes, and you saw where that got you.
Bonding over animals. Everyone loves animals.
All the rats biting you in the face out of love.
That would have been bad.
All right. Well, Hap is up first. She's like sees you getting closer and closer, and as you're getting too close, Darius is like right up to the rats. She's like, "You've come close enough. Die!" And she like issues a command, and now it's on, and Hap is up.
All right. Let me measure some distances real quick. All right. I'm going to use one action to move around this cart and get into a better position. All right. That is 25 feet, so that is one action for me. And then I'm going to use two actions to start building some fire in my hands. But I haven't decided who I'm going to throw it at yet. I could throw it at the animals or I could throw it at her. I think that Hap would not throw it at the animals willingly. Lady, I'm so sorry, but you've left me no choice. And I'm going to release a little fiery bird that flies into the druid. There it is. Okay. I rolled a 7.
7 for 14 and misses by quite a bit.
Ugh, that's not something I want to hear.
Ataran can only see the rat swarm. She is hidden behind those are like beyond total cover. Like you heard all this, Ataran, but you can't see her in any way, shape, or form because those things are 10 feet tall. Those wagons.
Can I try making a diplomacy check with her?
You can do whatever you want.
All right. So Ataran will move to get a better view of her. Can I see from there?
Yeah,
It looks
you
like
can.
I
You can see
could.
there.
Yeah. And Atron would say, I have worked with druids in the past, those who encourage corruption. It is pleasing to see you would work against it, but we need to work together to solve any such problems rather than harm each other. Please, tell us what you know and let us solve it. And skill. There we go.
I gotta look it up. I'm not sure what you're trying to do.
I think just change your attitude, right?
I think that to change an attitude, you have to use like 10 minutes of speech, though.
No, that's
Is that old Pathfinder?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, make an impression's 1 minute.
Request is only one action.
Request is one action.
We have been
And you make a
talking a
request
little bit of time.
Here we go. Right, you make a request of a creature that's friendly or helpful to you. Well, this one's not friendly nor helpful. You don't have time to make an impression.
And we've already shot fire at her.
Yeah,
let's
my
not
bad.
gather info. So, I was wondering. I thought there was something in here that allowed you to do that. But I
Well,
guess
make an
not.
impression is 1 minute of conversation. So you can use that to change attitudes, but I think there's a special feat to do it quickly.
Right. I'll say that you were talking with her to begin with, and that you can try to continue
Yeah.
talking to her, and so that you don't waste your whole action, and then you spend time trying to make an impression. I'm going to say that you did it, and you felt pretty good about it. but you have no idea if it was successful or not.
Yep, that's fair. But it's what Adoran would try at the beginning.
You got to do what your character would do.
Yep.
Darius, who's slowed, gets 2 actions. What are you going to do? There's our swarm of rats in front of you. It's difficult terrain.
I
if
move.
You're trying to step over all those yolks and stuff.
Okay. Well, I have 25 feet. That should make it, right?
Yep, you make it.
Then flurry of blows into this woman. She's already done too much to start negotiating. We'll knock her out, and then we can talk sense into her.
Oh, this is going to be funny. I mean, go right ahead and try to flurry and blow her. Nothing possibly bad will happen.
How many flurries do you need to hit every rat in a swarm?
No, I'm punching her.
I know, I'm just need a way to turn a flurry of blows into some sort of area of effect.
Okay, you roll a 13, 20. You hit her once in the face for 10.
Yeah, get her.
Enough of your cackling witch.
And the 7 for a 10 misses. She goes.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
She looks at you and says, after you punch her in the face, she says, I've been watching you, muscle man. A pox on you. She casts a spell and touches you. Now, this is what I like about 2nd edition, and I looked at this quite carefully. It's just automatic. Touch spells just work. I love 2nd edition. So, give me a fortitude save.
What do you mean?
You don't have to make an attack roll or anything?
Not unless
Usually.
it says it. No. Only if it
Wait,
says
I
it.
have... How many hero points do I have? Just 1 right now?
Hold on. Only if it says in the spell itself that you use a roll. Otherwise, it's automatic.
Wow. Yeah, this is definitely worth the hero point.
You have 1. Let's see. You have... Darius has 1 hero point left. Happens 1. Atron has 2, and Alara has 1. Alhara.
All right, then. I'm not... Let's see how this goes, then.
Are you using your hero point or not?
I am not.
You are not. So she says something, touches you on the arm. You suddenly get an irritating allergic rash. You are hit with goblin pox, and you are sickened. You feel ill. You are sickened 1. So
Is that just -1 to everything I do in my life?
pretty much. So -1 to everything you do, as you now see a pox of goblin spread over your arm, and you will have to continuously, let's see.
It does make sense for this spell because you're making a saving throw against something, and they generally tried to get rid of any time that you'd have to roll multiple times, where it's like, roll to hit, then roll a save, then roll another save, and they tried to encapsulate it into one thing for most spells.
Yep.
There's a couple unique exceptions, like Phantasmal Killer, that still have 2 saves, I think.
And like Finger of Death and stuff. You know, the things that are just murder people.
So she touches you with her outstretched arm, puts a pox on you. You are now sickened and slowed, and then she whips out this wicked-looking sickle and decides to hit you with it. And this thing looks horrific and shiny and sharp. And sure enough, hits you for 7 points of damage.
Oof.
She cuts you open. Alhara is up.
Oh yeah, Phantasmal Killer is just a will save. Anyway, all right, cool. So rats are this lady who you've beaten up, but man, she's dynamite. Alhara takes a moment, looks at her staff, looks at the rats, looks back at the staff, and then realizes she ain't going to be playing whack-a-rat that effectively, and might as well go after their master. Maybe the rats will just disperse. So she is going to attempt to do a tumble through. So she's going to move at full speed up until the point where she tries to tumble through that lady's space.
Well, I don't know if you're going to be able to tumble. Okay. Well, that's difficult terrain
Is
to go those
the
yolks
cart
are
might be in the way?
Yeah. Yeah. She's between him and the cart. How does that work when you're going through friendlies? I presume they are still not affected, so you can tumble through a friendly if they're not there.
Yeah,
Right.
I could ignore them, but if I fail, I go into the last legal space.
Yeah, I'm just worried because there's a yoke right there, so I think it would be double. So do you have enough movement to
You know
get
what?
through there?
What if I,
These 2 movements you can do in.
or what if I tumble through the rat's space?
You can do that too.
So I'm gonna do tumble through, and she's gonna actually like do a little jump in the air with a little somersault midair to try to clear the rats completely.
Nice.
Rolled
19. And that's against the rat swarm's fort DC, I think.
that's against the reflex DC.
Ooh, you barely get through the swarm as
Whew.
they're like nipping and biting at you as you're like squeaking, and you crush a couple as you tumble through. But none of them gain purchase. That's kind of behind her, not really.
All right, but that was enough to do 2 important things. One is to get a panache, and the other is to leave the rats flat-footed. Now, with the rats flat-footed, that might change things. Do I want to go after her, the rats? You know, Alhara's feeling pretty cool about jumping over those rats, so she's gonna turn right around and let's see, I got 2 actions left. I'm gonna go ahead and try to just whack them with my staff. So these rats are flat-footed against this attack.
So what type of attack is your staff?
It does lethal bludgeoning damage. Big old overhead swing with this big bow staff right across them.
Okay, so obviously a swarm usually wouldn't be so susceptible to damage of the physical nature, but you managed to smush a whole bunch of them with your staff and do 5 points of damage. So you have tons of little rat carcasses covering your staff now. It's filled with blood and gore and pieces of fur and little rat mouths and teeth. And yummy.
Alhara takes the bow staff back towards her body and starts to flip it in front of her, one side then the other, flinging off all the little bits of rat, and also setting up her parry with her 3rd and final action.
The halfling woman says, "Kill them all."
Oh no, this is bad biscuits.
The rat swarm goes into the camp and starts to cause chaos, including the professor who's caught in the swarm. Let's see. So the swarm moves into the camp, starts biting at everyone, and they're going to start. The professor makes a reflex save and fail. And Hod they're actually asleep. So they're all taking damage and they're all getting bitten. And you hear screaming and yelling as they're like, "Ah! Ah!" And Hop sees her beloved professor being swarmed by rats and getting bitten. And he's screaming as they are like covering him and obviously doing serious damage to him.
No, Dad!
The giant rat, on the other hand, who was protecting her flank, is no longer being nice and, I don't know, gentle like a doggy, and decides to go up after Alhara. So what's your DC AC now, man?
While parrying, 19.
You're gonna need it.
Oh god.
Okay, it rolls a 9 for a 16. Tries to snap at you, but gets a big mouth of stick. It tries again. 19 AC, you say?
Mm-hmm. Oh no.
Rolls a 19. Second time it gets through. Bites you on the hand as you're parrying. Give me your favorite. You know what's coming. The Fortitude save.
Mm-hmm. Oh no.
Nothing happens. I wouldn't worry about that fort save for at least a few hours. Well, you're like, oh, that can't be good, as it's like the bite is pulsating red. You're like, and there's like a big sloppy goo of saliva on your hand from after where it bit you. Don't worry
itches.
about that. Don't worry about it.
Oh.
You're bitten by a rat. Darius has goblin pox. Quite the pair, you two. App's up.
Okay. Yeah. This is the worst thing that Hap has seen all night, watching the professor get overtaken by the swarm of rats. So I know what I'd like to do, and I want you to tell me if you'll allow this or not allow it. I want to wade into the swarm of rats. I want to grab the professor's hand and I want to pull him back out of the swarm.
Yeah, if you want to spend your whole action doing that, you can.
I'll do it. I'll spend all 3 of my actions pulling him back out.
Okay. All right, you wade into the swarm and you grab the professor and pull him out. Several of the rats, are still clinging to him. They fall back off into the swarm, but the damage is done. He's already been bitten many, many, many times, and obviously is covered in bites, all red, swollen, covered with saliva and pus.
But is he dying?
No, he's not dying.
All right, weird question. I hate to ask it. Is that worth a hero point?
You didn't roll anything.
All right, fair.
So no, there's nothing you can hero point. Ataran is up.
Ataran glares at this woman as their eyes go wide and just stares intently and angrily upon her, using the Evil Eye focus power. They must make a will save. DC 17.
Rolls a natural 1. That could be very bad.
Ooh, critical,
Ooh.
no good.
Yeah, a critical failure is the target is frightened 3.
Yikes.
Whoa, that's no joke.
And I spend 1 focus. And Ataran will try to take cover of the wagon that they're against. I guess more from her attacks, should they come in his way.
Okay, so frightened 3. All checks and DCs are by -3. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
I guess that will affect the spellcaster badly. Darius, you have so much going on. You're slowed and sickened.
Mountain stance, please. He takes a stance, flexes his pox-ridden muscles, and flurries of blows at this woman again.
Okay, so you go into your stance and you try to punch her squarely in the face. Roll an 11, and you miss, although that's not even including the second. So you get I think 17. You get one more.
Yep, there we go.
You got to
Boom,
roll
boom.
super high, my man.
Whiff, 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 whiff.
That is a natural one.
No.
My hand flies off my wrist.
Wow.
So I see here that if Goblin Pox, you are sickened 1, and it says stage 1 round, but then there's a stage 2. It's an actual disease. So does that
Good.
mean that he has
Oh,
to
good.
do a fortitude save again to see if it goes up or down? So
Yes.
right, and that'll be on his turn or on her turn.
That's a
I'm
good question.
assuming mine? End
You
of my turn?
I think it's the end of his turn.
Well,
Hmm.
I think it's when they cast it. So, because the 1 round is an actual duration, initiative to initiative, but I'm not sure. Let's double check real quick.
That actually does matter because, like, depending when she casts it, in theory, it's supposed to go a full round. That's one of those rules that's always confused me because it's like you do something, it's like then does the effect go on their turn or on your turn?
Well,
and it's
Well, the
always like
effect,
that.
okay, so like for an affliction, there's an onset period. And if the onset's immediate,
Right.
like either way, they're going to make, they're essentially going to make their fortitude save right off the bat. And then what happens is
Right.
after that onset time, they take the stage 1 effect. Then
Right.
there's in parentheses the duration. When that duration is over, they make another fortitude save, and depending on that, the stages can go up or down. So
Right.
in this case, if it says 1 round, that is a full duration. I would say from what I'm skimming here, it sounds like that duration would just happen, like you'd wait till that duration was over, so it would be again on her turn.
Yeah, it does say this. It says
Yeah.
at the end of the stage's listed interval, and if it says 1 round, that's a full round. It's her turn.
Okay, so it's the end of her turn. I'm just making
Yeah.
sure.
Makes sense to me.
All right. The evil halfling is up. She looks around. What shall she do? As
Frightened 3.
She could give up and go home.
Frightened 3 isn't as bad as you think. It just gives you a -3 to certain checks. It's not the same as like the old
Oh,
Frightened.
you don't have to run away?
I thought at Frighten 3 that was when you start running away. I could be thinking of like the spell or something though.
Yay, learning new systems.
Hmm.
Frightened. You take a status penalty equal to this value to all your checks and DCs, unless otherwise specified. At the end of each of your turns, the value decreases by 1. There's nothing about automatically running away at certain values.
Yeah.
That's in the
okay.
fear spell. It's the fear
Yeah.
spell that does that. And since this isn't the fear spell, that's not the way it works.
Yeah, it's not as good as you think because all it does is, you
Yeah.
know,
Fleeing is what you're thinking of, and fleeing is its
Yeah.
own condition. It's still pretty good. All checks and DCs, that's really nice. Even if it's
Yeah,
3-2-1.
It's really good. It's really good in the sense that it weakens her significantly, but she doesn't run away.
She's easier to hit at least.
Yeah, it doesn't affect your armor class, just your checks and DCs. And armor class isn't really a DC. Well, is AC a DC? AC DC. I mean, people are saying it's technically a DC, and that's true. It is technically a DC, but it's... Well, that's not technically a DC. It is effectively a DC in that it is a target number, but I don't think ACs are DCs.
I think they would have put armor DC if it was supposed to be a DC.
Yeah, I think they would have put checks, armor class, and DCs.
Yeah. All right. Well,
It's DC's cousin.
Well, after successfully hitting Darius with the goblin pox and seeing Alhara getting bit by her rat, she decides to turn her attention to the other ones and will fling something at Hap.
Oh,
Fight
no.
fire with fire, she always says.
Ooh. I may have found something.
She casts her produce flame at you, rolls a 9 for 20, and hits you for 7 points of damage. What did you find?
Armor class is, in fact, a DC. On page 12, it lists that armor class, under the definition, it serves as the difficulty class for hitting a creature with an attack.
Then would a 17 have hit her when I rolled?
Sure.
Yay!
Yay!
Woohoo!
Hooray, rules!
This damage is mine.
Yep. Oh, yeah, also on page 274. Great looking things up, guys.
It's
All
a
right.
D8 damage, by the way. D8 is mountain
Thanks,
fist.
Vanessa.
All right. You do 7 points of damage as you hit her squarely in the face as we reread the rules and find out that frightening is much worse than we thought.
It's so good. And huge thanks to our live audience for helping us look that
Oh my
up.
god. Yes.
We do have a live audience. If you are a patron supporter, you get to listen to us play live and all our game banter and mistakes and everything. It's fantastic.
So, wow, there's a lot going on right now. Anyhow, she still hits Hap with
Yeah,
attack. And,
I'm pretty easy to hit.
Well, what's considered a check, then? That's not an attack
Oh, it's-
roll. An attack roll's not a
Yeah,
check.
definitely are attack rolls.
It's a good thing to get done once and for all. This never came up in Plaguestone.
What is it? I missed it. I was looking at some other things.
Is a check considered a attack roll? Is that part of a check?
Yeah, that is a check. Hmm.
No, that is a check?
I know that for certain, yeah. Hmm.
Okay, in that case. Hap, what is your AC? Oh, your AC sucks. She still hits you.
Yeah, it's 15.
Okay, so she would roll the 17. She still easily hits you. She
Son of a
runs-
biscuit.
She is getting out of this. She's like,
Ooh, I wish I had attacks of opportunity.
she runs over to Hap near her rats.
Oh no.
Elhara is up. Wow, there's a lot going on. Although, before that, Darius needs to do a fortitude save for the pox. The pox, I tell you.
Hmm.
14. That does not look good. I'm telling you that right now. What is
Uh-oh.
DC?
This is going extremely poorly.
This disease moves fast.
Nasty goblins.
Oh, Darius, I feel for you.
Oh, no.
Sickened 1, slowed 1.
You kidding me?
Well, enjoy, everybody.
He's going to be moving at the speed of Slug. Since does that stack? I presume it does. Then you just be
Well,
slowed
please
too.
check.
You see now, If he gets slowed 1 and he's already slowed 1, does he go slow 2, or is that just whatever? Alhara is up though.
I'm reading. It only affects
Yeah,
you at
the
the
highest
start
value.
of your turn, but it doesn't say anything about stacking or not stacking. I believe it is the highest
It
value.
has to be
though.
a 2.
Redundant
Yeah.
conditions. Here you go. Yeah. Yeah, it's only the highest value. So essentially,
Yeah.
he has 2 different conditions giving him slowed 1, but they only reduce it by 1.
Okay.
The slow doesn't do anything extra.
So Darius is like, aha, I'm already slowed 1. Your pox does nothing to me.
You can't slow me because I'm already slow, and then I do that. I
Yeah,
do the meme.
you're immune to it.
You're half stone. This disease has no effect on you.
Right.
It gets worse.
Fantastic. All right, so for Alhara's turn, I'm not going to let her get away, especially not to go beat up on Hap. So she starts to do a running jump, plants her bow staff in the ground, and ends up doing a flying kick as she plants herself right behind this old lady. So that is a move action, and then I'm going to do a confident finish.
Uh-oh. Should be worried.
Technically, we're still flanking, even though I don't have a melee weapon out, right?
Well, you got a fist, and so you're threatening. So, yep, also flank.
Yep.
Also frightened. Although I think those might both be circumstance penalties.
So her frightened will go down to frightened 2 on
Status
Atron's turn.
Yeah, once per round, so it's, again, in the duration of when it happens. But yeah, frightened is a status penalty, so it stacks with flat-footed. Nice.
You
Whoa.
crit her.
Oh, good.
Right, 19 for 26. That's why I was checking, because
Nice.
the difference between a 2 and a 3 was very important right there.
Mm-hmm.
But
Wow.
you managed to crit her and do, how much was that? 26 points of damage.
Poof.
She's
Holy crap.
still standing. And she looks at you, spits out her tooth. It's like, is that all you got?
Lady, you crazy.
Clearly, yes.
Oh my gosh. I almost want to just, you know what? Sure, what the heck? Let's try it. It's just her, and she's pretty messed up right now. I'm going to go ahead and try and get her away from, let's see, push. Push won't work. I'm going to do a trip. I'm going to try and knock her on the ground.
That's good.
Yeah. So this does have the attack trait, so it's going to be at a -5 overall. So my total looks like it is going to be a 13.
Not a -4? Isn't your fist agile or something?
My fist is, but I'm not attacking with my fist necessarily. I'm just doing a trip, actually with the staff technically, because it has the trip trait. So Alhara reaches down after like spin kicking her, brings the staff around and tries to whack her in the back of the knees and knock her to the ground.
Against her fortitude. DC.
Checking.
Oh, and just to clarify, her frightened condition will not go down for now. While I can see her and the spell is still active, the frightened condition remains at the number it's at. So.
Holy crap.
Mm-hmm. When Otteron glares at you,
Otteron.
Otteron glares at you.
Seriously.
Nice.
The trip is against the target's reflex DC.
You fail. She
Okay.
does not get tripped.
Even with the
Even with all the
-3?
penalties. Yeah,
Yes.
because the
Yeah.
flank doesn't, or flat-footed doesn't affect reflex DC, unfortunately.
Her cantrip was 2d4 against me, so she's at least 3rd level.
She's probably pretty strong.
The rats continue to ravage the camp. Everyone's screaming and yelling. Everyone's waking up. And rats are just running over everyone sleeping, biting them. So they moved over some more people, bit all of them, and now have moved over to the Featherfall 5. And just everyone in the camp is going to be affected by poison and filth fever and rat bites. So this should be an interesting show this week. Giant Rat is up.
Uh-oh.
And Giant Rat sees a big, lumpy, delicious target.
I am delicious and lumpy.
It comes over.
Mashed
decides to
potatoes?
Bite you.
I am well-shaped mashed potatoes.
Ooh.
Bites you. Rolls a 15 for a 22. Rah! Gives you a big old kiss. Give me a fort save. Ooh, 19. For once, you actually feel okay. You're like, wow, I'm slowed. I'm covered in pox. I just got bit by a giant rat with God knows what, but I'm okay for now.
I mean, why not just add rabies to
Oh, it's
everything?
trying.
It's trying its best.
Yeah, well, it tried to bite you the second time. It totally misses with a 8. Rolls an 11. Haps up.
So I want to ask, can the professor just go on my turn and just move away?
Sure. He doesn't want to though.
He doesn't want to move away?
I control the professor. You can tell him what you want him to do.
Okay, I'm gonna move myself. Alright, I was just measuring. Alright, so I'm gonna move away from the witch, so I'm not adjacent to her. I move over near kind of Aderon and in between some of the carts, but I can still see her. And I'm gonna start roiling my hands around themselves to build up a ball of fire. And Dad, I need you to get out of the way. I need you to get out of the way. And I'm gonna hope that he's gonna move because right now he's directly in the way.
Okay. Go right ahead.
Gonna ready in action?
Are you readying? Yeah, I mean, it's your turn. He doesn't go between you and him going, so.
Okay. Well, then I can't ready this because you have to use an action to ready an action, right?
So just cast
I know
it.
what I could do. No, I know what I could do. I'm gonna use an action to ready my focus spell, which is only one action, Elemental Toss. So, and then my trigger condition is when he's out of the way. Or better yet, I'll use my trigger condition when I have a clear shot. I'm gonna take it.
Or whatever. He moves out of the way. You could have just. I mean, you could just. It's only a -1. It would have been if he's in the way. But okay, he moves out of the way. Take your shot.
Well, I was looking at it like conceptually, and like I didn't want to risk hitting him, because he's like right in the way. All right, here goes. Big ol' 7. Should I hero point this? I mean, no, I'll hire that big crit. I think we can afford it.
Ateron is up. Ateron hasn't been. Ateron is so far away from everything. They have not a scratch on them. Nothing. Nothing at all.
So sad, really, but that
Oh my god.
speaks well to Aderon. Aderon concentrates, just keeping their gaze angrily upon the woman, and then casts Eru Lavodik, and a tent pike comes flying up and tries to hit her with telekinetic projectile.
You're giving her a steak bite?
I got that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
All right. You get a 10 pole that goes through her head.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Kills her instantly. Oh, well. Who knows what secrets were in that head of hers that is now splattered all over Alhara.
Ew,
Violence
gross.
is a lesson.
Wait, did you want to move, Ateron? Sorry.
No, I had to concentrate, so
Oh, okay.
I'm good.
Darius, you have a big old angry rat in front of you trying to bite you. You're slow.
I will
You're poxed.
do my best.
You have rat bites all over you. You're barely alive. What are you going to do? You're in really bad shape.
I'm
You're
in bad
almost
shape.
dead.
I'm going down, punching this rat or stomping on it. I mean, how big is this giant rat? Like the size of a dog?
A big dog.
Big dog. Here we go. Flurry of diseased blows.
Can you spread your pox?
If I bite it,
Uh,
Ooh, you hit it square in the face. 5 points
Minimum
of damage. Crunch. And then a 6 for a 9. But you get one more
The Hail-
attack. You get
then
one
the
more.
Hail Mary.
A Hail Mary. The circus strong man versus the rat.
What?
You rolled a 19
Wow.
for an 18.
Yes.
It's actually a
Wow.
-1.
Oh, wait. It's also -1 because of my disease. So is the
I
17
know,
going to
but
hit it?
Nah, its AC is 15. I took care of that. I did
Oh,
that on my-
beautiful.
So you still hit it, and you
Whew.
you explode the poor rat.
yes.
Aw, I didn't really get to use any of these bad guys. Oh well. Although, give me a fortitude save.
You can still die anyway.
That's right.
Oh, no.
Right.
Hero point?
Man,
Yes, hero point right now.
you sure?
Didn't
Oh
help.
my gosh.
Oh,
Two, and then he rolls a
God.
3.
Friggin' 3.
Let me roll. Turn
Nope,
off
I
that
just
0 hero points.
0
So
hero
if you drop,
points.
you will die. That'll be fun.
I'm not gonna let you die. Don't worry.
You're almost dead. What are you talking about?
I'm fine, fit as a fiddle.
Okay. You're sickened 1
Yes.
forever.
Great.
For a long time. We'll leave it at that. The pox spreads across your body. You're now covered in goblin pox. That can't be good. Alhara is up.
Whoa, brother, you should get that looked at. Ugh, she says as she scratches her own arm in rat bite. I guess this rat swarm is still making its way, huh?
It's already affected half of the circus acts in camp.
Yeah, time to get out in front of it. Alhara is quick, so she's going to run around and double move around to this rat swarm and whack it again with her big old stick.
Yeah, there'll be like 2 moves to get there, but that's okay.
Yeah. That's fine. And then third action is going to be hit it with a stick.
Hit the stick. Hit the rats with the stick.
Mm-hmm. Whack a rat. Oh no, not one.
Tired.
Oh.
She's tired from all the running. So much running.
So much running.
The rats look at you with their beady little eyes and sees a whole bunch of people right in front of them. Swarm, swarm! Oh, they're all over you! They're all over you! Rah, rah, rah. Snip, snip, snip. They're like biting you. They're like going up your pant legs. They're jumping at your face. Oh boy, this is fun. Okay, automatically
Ew,
you
get
take
off, get off, get off.
1d6 piercing damage, and then give me the reflex save.
Oh my gosh. My best save, I rolled a 3.
Of not not what you wanted.
Amazing that a 3 for you is a 12, though.
Well, I mean, it's her best.
You take 3 points of damage, and if you're hit with the disease, oh, that's only poisons. So,
Yeah.
It's all multiple things still stack. It's afflictions in general. So if it also has a similar sort of disease as the other rat, I would still need to make another fortitude save. And if I failed, I would essentially start at phase 2 after the onset.
right, that's what I'm looking at. So you automatically go to phase 2. You already had phase 1.
Yeah, 6 on that fort save ain't happen.
The reflex save to see whether or not you're exposed to filth fever. You are, as they bit you quite vigorously. You failed your second fort save, so now you're up to stage 2. Now you're sickened 1. Everybody's sickened 1. This is a joyous occasion, I tell you. And then
I don't
the
feel
rat
so
swarm
good.
moves
Ugh.
over there. Hap, you are up.
So, if I attack the rats with fire, do I risk hitting some of our people?
No, not really. I mean, theoretically, the way swarms work, there's so many of them that you're not actually hitting one. You're just hitting like all of them, and then they just disperse. Like you kill enough of them that they no longer become swarm, and then they just disperse like off into the woods. So
Okay.
you can hit like a corner of them. Like you see a large grouping of them that's not, like with anyone that you want to hit is in that area, and you could just hit that area. That's how it works thematically.
Okay. Well, I'm going to move, and then I'm going to ask you another question. All right. So I'm standing next to the yoke of this cart. There's some rats like 20 feet ahead of me, and there's 2 circus workers in between me and the rats. But these folks are laying down, right? Because they were sleeping?
I would say they were sleeping, and then I'd say they're screaming and yelling and all over the place. So, the rat swarm will get cover from being behind that wagon anyhow. So you're gonna have to get into a much better position if you want to try to hit it. They're not your problem. It's the wagon covering like 80% of the swarm.
Okay. Well, that move for me was only 5 feet. Maybe what I'll do instead is, let me measure this. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move myself back, and then I'm going to do 25 feet from there, including difficult terrain. All right. So from this position, 5 feet past Acheron, 5 feet into the difficult terrain, 5 more feet into the next and then 5 feet to the left.
Yeah,
All right,
that's perfect.
All right, and that gives me 25 feet. And from this position, from this position, I'd like to let's just do a flamethrower of fire.
Ooh.
Kill them with fire. Fire.
Hopefully, I can roll well this time. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah!
Wow. Critical.
Is that max damage also? It was.
Yeah. 10. 10 plus 10.
Yeah.
20 points of damage. You kill all the rats. They're all dead.
It's because it was a flamethrower. I take my hands, I put them together, and I push them in front of me, and just kind of sweep across like I'm watering a bunch of flowers, but I'm not. I am death watering a bunch of rats.
All right, well, they're all dead.
Death watering.
Maybe that'll be the back of Hap's t-shirt. I am death watering the rats.
Well, we rush over and help everybody to try and get them comfortable and treated.
Otteron starts going through their things to see if they have anything to help, but is mostly just shaking their head, sighing.
Look, Otteron needs to cut themselves with a knife or something, because you looking pretty as a rose, and the rest of us are all about to keel over. This is why you're an outsider. We do all the heavy lifting.
But they have such perfect skin.
They did great. I think someone needs to be flawless.
I know Alhara is jumping into the pool of water right there and starting to remove pieces of armor and like scrub where all the rats were crawling all over her body.
I do not have anything to help with these bites or anything right now. It's best to keep them clean.
Dad, we got him. Are you all right?
He looks around. He's all confused. He's like, what is going on? He looks and sees all the dead rats like on fire and everyone like scratching and itching themselves, as obviously the rats managed to rummage through half of the camp doing God knows what. He goes, oh, this is bad. We're going to be in bad shape after all of this. Who knows how much disease we're probably not going to be able to put on the show for I don't know how long. Can't put on the show now. We need to get everyone well.
No, we can't. No. Can't continue till everyone is well.
Yeah, let's try to figure out where she came from, and hopefully this is it. I imagine she was responsible for all of this. Sure sounded like it. I don't know who she was or anything.
Yes, clearly controlling and manipulating the animals.
And here I thought Atron was being crazy. All that talk of the druids, but wouldn't you know it? It was a druid.
So it looks like almost everyone except for, Mordana was not affected at all. And some of the Featherfall 5 was not affected. Otherwise, everyone else was bit. Hap has some damage. Otteron is flawless. Darius is got something, and he's
veritable cocktail of various diseases.
Well, you just have goblin pox and slowed, and Alhara has filth fever and has already been affected by the filth fever and has already slowed one as well. Anyhow, it's late and she's dead. The giant rat's dead. The swarm is all burned up. You can look around, but it doesn't look like there's anyone else coming. Looks like that was it. Hopefully, it's all making sense. The rat tracks definitely match the swarm of rats. You see off in the distance that in one of the wagons, the door is open, and it wasn't open before. So it looks like you probably could guess that's where she came from.
I will do a quick sweep of the wagons, but I expect we are fine now.
I didn't think. I figured it was Mistress Dumblight all the time. It was a druid after all.
Even she doesn't have the capability to do as much as this one did. This was terrifying. All the fey creatures, the snakes, the rats, the performance.
That ugly chicken.
And all because what? Farmers be farming?
It is still possible there is corruption to the land that we must investigate.
There is corruption.
It does not mean somebody is responsible. Yes, that means only something else we will see, especially if it becomes attached to the circus. We would have to address it eventually. But I will check the wagons.
Ataran goes through the wagons. Sure enough, one of the wagons off in the distance. It's actually the Featherfall 5 wagon. Looks like where she was holding up. And you can tell because it is now covered with rat turds everywhere throughout the wagon. So is Ataran going to go tell the Featherfall 5, like, the good news, bad news?
Was it their wagon?
Yeah, yeah. She
Oh.
was the druid was holding up in the Featherfall Five's wagon with the swarm and the big
Gross.
rat, and you could tell because as soon as you open it up, you get hit in the face with the pungent smell of
Yeah,
rat, and there's droppings and
yeah,
damage everywhere.
yeah. Yeah, Ataran will tell them they won't want to rest there.
They look at each other like, ugh. They quickly run over to look at the wagon and see what the damage is, and they are just furious.
I think Ataran will look over the halfling druid's things to see if there's anything of interest.
Casually walks over to loot the body. Okay, sure,
It's
sure.
time. I already looked at the wagons. Now I look at the body.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Hide armor. It's got this really cool rat hood. It's like the head of a giant rat, and your head can go inside of it, and then you wear it like a hood. She has a staff. You find a key on her, and then her wicked sickle.
I like that sickle.
Yeah, I can show you a picture of what she looks like.
Alhara comes walking up to Ataran, dripping wet, and sort of just holding the major pieces of her black and red armor in her hand. And she's like, so did we figure out who this lady was? Does anyone know her? Does anyone recognize her? Just imagine her without a tent stake in her head. Is she familiar to anyone?
I have not seen her before, but
Darius is too busy helping people.
I expect
love
some
her rat
townspeople
hood.
might know of her if she is local from the woods. Perhaps she has
I mean-
ranted at the mayor before.
Did she say her name?
No, not that I remember.
I
Just
But I
the
mean, how
crazy
many
think it
rat
might
hood?
halflings?
be easy. Yes, the rat-headed druid woman might get some attention in the town.
How many halflings with a rat on their head can there be in these parts?
Hopefully 0 now.
Yeah, no one knows anything. Obviously, she seems like perhaps local to this area. No one in the area. No one knows who she is. No one recognizes her.
Can we go to bed now?
Yes, I think it is safe.
Probably a good idea. As Alhara sort of shakes herself like a dog and then starts wringing her ponytail out.
Come on, Dad. I'll help you to the cart.
Okay, so you do a quick check. Atron looks around, and no more shenanigans are going on. All the carts are empty. It looks like you've managed to clear everything out. There are a couple of things that are going to occur, though. So it looks like Darius is slowed from the chicken. Darius has the goblin pox on him, which, let's see how long that lasts. Okay. Yeah, you have the goblin pox on you. That will last a while. Alhara has filth fever, and it looks like approximately. Hold on a sec.
It's not looking good for our circuits.
The dwarves are they're fine. Okay, it's actually not terrible. Okay. The dwarves actually make their save. So although they got bit, they seem hardy, and if anything are just annoyed that they were disturbed in their sleep. One of the Featherfall 5 was bit, the other 4 were not, and she also is fine. So you're in somewhat good shape. It looks like 2 of the acts did not get affected, plus Mordana. So that's 3. So 3 of your acts are still in okay condition.
Oh, we might be able to put on a show. Why am I itchy?
The amazing circus of sick people? No. We are not doing well.
Maybe we could recruit some fresh talent.
And train them
Well, maybe
in a
fresh
night.
talent that already has skills.
How much did we have to train Otteron? They do great.
Well, you only do we haven't done this in a while, so
One show a week, right?
it's only once a week. So you have a week if you want to the most you could do is do it once a week. So you have 6 days for everyone to kind of get better and be able to perform. But this obviously could affect other things that you're not aware of if half of the circus is out of commission. Also, no one died, which is good. That's could have been, well, really bad. So it looks like Elysia, the juggling twins, Axel, they are all bit and not doing so well. So those 3 acts will need some time to rest. The dwarf throwers and the Featherfall 5 and Mordana are fine.
I have a chemical items I can brew for poisons and disease, but I will need time.
We also have Otteron, we have me, and we have Alhara.
What?
Oh yeah, wait, I forgot.
We are not doing that great.
I was looking at the little red diamonds, and I didn't see a little red diamond on Alhara, so I just forgot.
No, we got the green gunk icon.
Yeah. You got Otteron and me.
Okay, this is where it gets interesting. So, it's late at night, everyone's tired, everyone goes back to their cabins. The Featherfall 5 bunk up with a few other people because their cabin needs to be cleaned before they can go into it. The Ringmaster's cabin has to be cleaned because he had all that junk. By the way, the key you found, Atteron, was the Ringmaster's key.
Yeah, I
We were able to
figured.
figure that out pretty quickly. Yeah. So by morning, all of you will be level 2. Dun dun dun.
Whoa.
Otteron would have stayed at the fire while people went off to bed, just sort of whispering to Chilagosh and watching just in case anything happened as people started to calm and go to sleep.
Yeah, Darius is going to work with people, bandaging some more of the severe wounds and helping them clean them, in preparation for convalescing, I guess.
Hap has to do her morning chores of going around and feeding all the animals, cleaning up their poop, making sure they're all okay.
Sure.
Yeah, Alhara is definitely taking time to hang up her armor so it can dry out and sort of just drying herself by the fire before she goes to bed. Occasionally shooting Otteron looks when she thinks that they're not paying attention.
Sexy looks.
So the next day, you wake up, you feel stronger, you feel more knowledgeable, you feel faster, stronger, better. Level 2. Hap goes around her chores. Bardolph is fine, back to his normal, usual self. You think, obviously, that druid had something to do with his unusual behavior. The rest of the animals seem a lot calmer this morning, and everyone is just in different levels of sickness. It looks like people who were bit are now, sickened, as they were affected by the filth fever, and many of these people have decided to take the day off and rest and relax while they get better. The professor is also sick, by the way, but he's got work to do, so he's fighting through it and is helping organize and get the camp back into shape after those crazy attacks. So it's up to you. You have a couple of days if you want to put on another show, if you want to do anything. If you want to do long-term care or rest, you can.
I'm not going to do anything exciting. I'm just going to, take care of my duties at the circus and make sure that everyone else is doing all right. Fetch them clean water and maybe cook for people that can't cook for themselves.
Alhara is, the next day is going to be wrapping essentially a light scarf around her face. But other than that is trying to go about her daily chores, making sure that the equipment's ready for the show later in the week. And she's feeling optimistic. She'll get right over this little cough or whatever this is.
Yeah, Darius will see if he can help everyone else with his medicine and generally try and be optimistic as well about the show continuing, the next week.
Okay.
Atron's planning to do some crafting.
Oh, okay. What crafting is that going to be?
I'm trying to look at specific days. Let's see.
Well, every piece of equipment takes a minimum of, well, it takes 4 days.
Let's see. When you craft potions, oh, that's for potions. Yeah, when I make potions, I get more and whatnot, but I'm leaning towards making some antidotes and anti-plague first. Which do you all think I should make first? Antidote, which is anti-poison, or anti-plague, which is anti-disease?
Anti-plague.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that the antidote is actually going to matter too much.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what I would be working on. First, working to collect the necessary ingredients, reviewing what I can make, etc. Adoran probably spent some time checking with everyone as well and trying to assist in regular ways, like helping make sure people are comfortable or getting food or checking on their symptoms.
Okay, so right, the anti-plague level 1 lesser anti-plague will give you a fortitude bonus against disease for 24 hours, including the progression. So,
Yep.
the +2 bonus whoever drinks it.
I hope you can make like 30 of those.
I wish.
Yeah, so you spend 4 days, then you attempt the craft check, and then if it's successful, you can pay the remaining portion immediately, or you can spend additional days to pay less if you really wanted to. So it's going to take you 4 days just to craft some items. I think you get 4 potions though, right?
Yeah, it's a batch size of 4. When I do potions, like actual magical potions, I get 6 because of my cauldron. So I'm very efficient at making healing potions.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll be able to make 4
gonna need 'em.
anti-plagues, which are gonna. Well, we'll find out. By the time you finish them, either everyone's going to be cured or half of the party is going to be dead.
Yeah.
So I think it might be best maybe if you guys level up, because you'll have some time. You could help everyone out. You can craft. You can go into town. There's some things that are going to happen, but I want to wait till you're level 2 before those things happen. You could also, if you want to do any of the downtime activities of promoting the circus, you can. So I don't know if you guys want to work on that together, like offline.
Come to the circus.
Yes, exactly.
All eyes on me. All eyes on me.
I can make a quick decision, but I'm curious what you all think. I have 2 good options for leveling. One is, let's see. One is to take a feat called Dizzying Parry, which yada yada yada. When I use the interact action with a weapon that has the parry trait to gain a circumstance bonus to armor class, increase the bonus from +1 to +2. So when I spend that one action to parry, my AC goes up by 2. That's mechanically really sound, but not super exciting. The more exciting one is to instead take my staff acrobat dedication, which, if that's available to me, Steve. And what that would do is essentially give me a +2 circumstance bonus to athletics checks when jumping, leaping, and long jumping and stuff. And it increases the distance of those things by 5 feet. So that's pretty cool. It also allows me to shove and trip even if I don't have a hand free, which I think I may have shoved once when I didn't have a hand free. Oops. So I don't have to worry about that anymore. And finally, if I roll a check to balance while wielding my staff, if I get a success, I get a crit success instead. So there's some decent stuff about it. I don't know, I'm not sure. Dizzying Parry is like, I don't know, more direct mechanics. Hey, I'm more likely to survive, but it's also less interesting. Staff Acrobat gives me a bunch of little bonuses to things that are kind of cool, but aren't necessarily like a power increase. So it's sort of debatable. I've gotten beat up a lot, so I'm kind of scared. Alhara's not scared at all, but Vanessa's definitely scared. Action Jackson really likes Staff Acrobat. It does give me access to some pretty cool stuff later. Most of it is like, I don't know, most of the stuff I get later is Whirlwind Stance is definitely something I want at level 10, but that's at level 10. So, I don't know. I'm also finding that I'm not like parrying every single turn like I thought I would be. I'm just parrying a lot of the time when I have that extra action. That what do you do with it? So, yeah, Action Jackson, I hear you there. I really like movement characters. I'm very likely to get the Flamboyant Athlete feat at 4th level from Swashbuckler, so I get all the cool movement modes and bonuses and things, because these super like maneuverable characters when I'm playing a Marshal. It's one of the reasons I really like this character, and both of those things add distance when you leap, which is pretty cool. So those are pretty tempting. Stack all the leap and never stride again. I mean, that's part of it, right? It's kind of dumb, but at the same time, like, because I took Nimble Elf or whatever it is at 1st level, so I'm at a base of 30 right now, so I'm already leaping 15 feet. With Staff Acrobat, that's another 5 feet. With Panache, that's another 5 feet. And it increases the base, I think. Yeah, Flamboyant Athlete increases the distance 5 feet. So vertical leap increases to 5 feet versus before it's like 2 or something. And then the horizontal leap, goes to 20 feet if I'm at 30 or more. So that is pretty good because that plus the staff means 25 feet on the leap. That's nuts. All right. I guess I'll take the flashy fun one and not the straight static bonus one. Probably for the best. All the ground traps. Yeah, Darius can hit those. I'll just leap forward, miss all the traps, and then the rest of the party will come walking up behind me and then, whoops, trip over them.
I'll just stomp them.
Just stomp them. Well, then I think I'm definitely going to go Staff Acrobat, and we're just going to go pure fun and flavor. Oh my gosh. So should I get Powerful Leap as my... It's a skill feat we get, right? Or is it a skill increase?
I got a skill feat.
Yeah, don't we all get a skill feat?
Yes.
Skill feat, okay.
Yes. Yeah, you're going to have what Brixley had. That we can make fun of you.
No, it's cool when Alhara does it. It's comically Mario World when Brixley does it.
Very true.
Brixley got Quick Jump, which is that you can high jump or long jump as a single action. Powerful Leap increases, like you jump further and higher. And because I'm getting all these other bonuses and they're not typed, they all like stack together. So you just have ridiculous leaps, which sounds so much fun. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Vanessa. Fantastic. Yeah, one action leap for your full stride. Well, I'm at 30 already, but yeah, that would be nuts. I'm just reading the texts right now. So Quick Jump says I can use high jump and long jump as a single action instead of 2 actions. So I don't perform the initial stride, which is cool. I don't have to do it.
Hey, what are the 2 things I see in the Patreon chat with Staff Acrobat and Dizzying Pari? Do you not get both of those? You have to pick one?
Yeah, those are my 2 options, and I was trying to figure out which one I wanted to do.
Dizzying Pari. Like, why is this even a conversation? That's infinitely better.
But Staff Acrobat gives you a bunch of little cool things that are flavorful.
It gives you a bunch of little trash. Like, oh, you can jump. That's fun.
Yeah,
It is fun.
That actually is going to come in handy a lot more than you think. The parry is a passive thing that's not as good as you think because it takes an action to use. I don't know. In my opinion, I think it's better to have more of little things, especially in these adventures, because look at you, you Lord Birds. Who would have thought that would come in handy? Well, it did. And I always reward creativity. If you're going to do something weird, I will make sure it's not... In fact, not only will I guarantee it's not wasted, I'll guarantee it comes up. Guarantee it, that you will use it.
Will you 100%. Guarantee that my part Bard comes up? Because this first level of Bard is trash. It does literally nothing.
Bard is, you know what, my favorite character class? Bard. So, yeah, you better believe it's going to be coming up, and you're going to get to do cool things.
Bard is my all-round least favorite class. I hate Bards.
Wow, I love Bard.
This is how I like Bards, because I'm not a song performer. Like, Hap doesn't sing for bardic inspiration. What she does is she throws out very cool looking, like, fire, like, bedazzling displays, and those are the inspirations. That's the only way I like Bard. I've been trying to find a video on YouTube of, like, the dance that she does, but I'm really having a hard time. I just want it to be, like, some kind of kung fu mystical dance that, like, a Shaolin monk would do, or, like, one of the characters on Avatar would do.
So Kung Fu Panda? You're a Kung Fu Panda?
Fatas Frodo says, look up the fire poi display. So I'm going to go do that real quick.
I'm gonna send you a video, Lauren.
I want you to send me a video.
Yeah.
This one I'm watching's in slow motion. It's getting on my nerves. I ain't got time for no slow motion crap.
All right, so I just went from being able to leap 15 feet to 25 feet. Fantastic.
That's a lot of leap.
It's so dumb, but I just love it. It's what I want her to do, not running around the battlefield, but literally just like flipping and jumping and bouncing off of things. It's going to be very cool.
I take it you didn't go with the dazzling parry, which is literally just like raising a shield.
Yeah, it takes parry from being like, it's something, to raise a shield without being able to shield block. I have raise a shield feat as a swashbuckler, but like it doesn't work with a staff. I can theoretically use here's what's dumb. I can theoretically use a buckler, but if I use my staff at all for anything, then I can't use the buckler for anything. So what's the point? So it was sort of my, like, doing parry stuff was my stand-in, but I mean, level 10's a long way away, but by the time I get to level 10, it won't matter. Level 10, it won't matter anyway, because I have a cool stance I'm going to take.
All right, you guys keep sending me all these dances that have fire in them, but I'm not looking for a dance with fire in it. I'm just looking for just like a nice Shaolin looking dance, you know?
Well, what Kung Fu people do is not dance. It is a form. So maybe you want to look up some Shaolin forms?
Maybe, like, what if Shaolin forms were a dance? That's what I want.
So do you want to know something? Want to know something, Lauren?
I do want to know something.
I have a black belt in Kung Fu.
I need you to dance for me and record it so we can all look.
No, they're forms, sword forms. It's not a belt, it's a sash. Black sash. Swear to God.
This might be what I'm looking for. I will, Frodo. If I find something, I'll put it in the chat so y'all can see it.
I'm trained in nature now, and I can use it for medicine.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I figured natural medicine was
After
made sense.
fighting all these druids and horribleness, you're like, maybe nature should come in handy.
Well, yeah, I really regretted not taking it for first level anyway, considering my background, but now I've got it, and at GM's discretion, if we're in a natural environment, I can find things to help me, so my medicine check will be effectively 2 better.
I love natural medicine. It's so good.
I mean, for Acheron, it just makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Also, I'm a sorcerer now.
Did you really do that?
Yeah, I decided both from I guess 3 reasons. I didn't want any of the witch 2nd level class feats. I've been wanting us to have a bit more buff healing, and with some of the inspiration I have for Acheron's background, I decided to pick up a divine bloodline. So, yep. I now have Stabilize and Forbidding Ward.
Forbidding Ward is actually not terrible. It's one of those
I've got
things.
Forbidding Ward.
Yeah, it's not that bad, especially when there's like the one BBEG and you know who's going to be tanking it. Giving him that nice +1 status bonus isn't bad, and in subsequent turns, the sustain for 1 action also isn't terrible.
Right, yeah, especially for me.
I figured since I was getting bard abilities, I needed to take more supportive cantrips. So that I can... Forbidden Ward is an easy one to kind of act like, you're doing a bard thing, and so is Guidance.
I think those were the 2 that Alhara took.
I don't have to take Forbidding
Not
Ward.
Alhara.
I mean, Celeste.
Do you think I should take something else other than Forbidding Ward if you're taking it?
It's
up to
still
you.
useful if 2
I
of
mean,
you
we can
have
both
it.
do it.
You have 2 frontliners as well, even if it's like the 1 BBEG and then 2 frontliners.
True.
Oh, I'm
true.
100% casting Magic Fang on Darius. Just FYI.
Nice.
Oh, Magic Fang is so good.
Yeah, it's great.
I need magic fangs.
I know you do. You'll get them.
Also, Godless Healing doesn't say I need to be from Rahadum for my skill feat. It just says no patron deity and battle medicine are the prereq.
It's an uncommon feat, and the access to
yeah.
it is being from Rahadum.
Didn't mark it as uncommon in my hero.
I might be wrong,
Just
but
what I
that's the
showed you.
flavor behind it, certainly. Lost Omens. Is that straight out of Lost Omens World Guide?
Yeah, I mean
that's
it's from
the-
the hero
What's it
lab.
called?
Godless Healing.
Godless Healing, General Skill.
Yeah,
It
skill
doesn't
feat.
say it's uncommon.
Level 2.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
true. It
feat,
doesn't say
too.
it's uncommon. It's just through
Aha.
Rahadum.
Well, no, it says here, Prerequisites are battle medicine. You can't have a patron deity. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You don't have a patron? You don't have Kurgus?
That's not my. I'm assuming that means having being a cleric. I can
Yeah, I mean, it's
worship
that sort
anybody
of
I
thing.
want. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that.
I mean, it is called godless.
No, that means
Uh-huh.
you can't worship.
Well, I don't
anyone.
ask my god for healing. I use a bandage.
You can't have any god.
So I think you were.
No God.
I think you're.
Yeah, you've been vetoed, my man.
Oh, as in like I can't
You don't
believe
worship.
in the god.
I think that's the
That's correct.
understanding of the feat. Yeah.
You are godless.
A
You're a
patron.
heathen. It's called heathen healing. That's what it really should be called. You're a heathen.
So look, I mean, we live in a magical world. You recognize that the gods exist. You just don't rely on them. You don't put faith in them. You believe in yourself.
I don't. Whatever. I don't necessarily have an active worship other than this guy was healthy. I mean, you tell me. I don't reject the gods. I know they exist. How can anyone reject the gods? I just don't ask them for healing.
You can reject the god. A lot of people do. I know characters that don't have gods.
Yeah.
You need to have no god. No
I mean,
god.
this
You
feat
don't
is
have
based.
to deny that they exist.
You don't have to deny it exists, but you worship no god. Does Darius worship a god? Yes or no?
So
That's all I
it's
need.
about. I think I put Kurgus in the deity because he was a hero that he worked out. I don't think he goes to Kurgus Church.
So take that out of your deity list, and you can have godless healing. Gotta take it out.
Okay.
You will no longer. You could say you admire him, but you don't worship.
Yeah, that's exactly correct.
him. That's fine.
I don't think he has active faith other than
You don't go to church.
I have a tattoo of Thor on my body. I do not worship Thor.
Yes,
Right.
you do.
I do not.
Of course you do. Yeah, you do.
How?
You worship him by having the tattoo on your body. That is body worship right there.
He's got you there.
No, that is
Yeah.
complete Steven
Yeah,
bullshit.
your worship. Yeah, no, that's what.
Another
No,
classic
really? Everyone else is
Steven
vetoing
bullshit.
you. That's not Steven bullshit. That's Steven. That is. Hey, look, if you put a tattoo on your body, you at least look up to him. Okay, I don't know if you worship Thor, but you
Right,
sure
right.
like him. You sure like him.
Liking and worshiping, two different things.
Okay, I'll give you that.
I
you don't
like
worship him.
bacon. I do not worship bacon. Okay, maybe
I don't
that's
know.
true.
Oh, whoa! That's bullshit. You worship bacon.
Everyone worships bacon. This is America.
The name of
Oh my
your
god.
name of your Twitter's bacon. The entrance to your house is bacon. Everything is bacon in Rob's world. That I know. So, in fact, I'll say your patron saint is bacon, not Thor.
Hey,
How
I
about
found
that?
Saint
a
bacon.
good one. I'm gonna share it with everyone. See what everyone thinks. That's what I've been doing this whole time. Is looking at dances.
Does it have bacon in it or a
It
Thor?
does. It's called the Bacon Dance. For any of you Patreons still here, I'm gonna put it there so you can see it too.
Traditional Shaolin. This is 4 minutes long.
Like you don't have to watch the whole damn thing. Just look at some of it and be like, oh yeah, I get it. I see where
Yeah.
you're coming from. I mean, it's the tiniest bit more martial arts than I'm looking for, but it's still pretty close to like this mystical kung fu dance that I'm trying to capture.
Yeah.
So you have to imagine like Hap doing that stuff, but then like in the middle of it, she'll like throw one arm out. Like instead of like a punch, like with your wrist, it's like throwing fire forward. It's like that.
Yeah. It's the Avatar of the Last Airbender fire dances.
I did just look up a bunch of Avatar Last Airbender firebending dances, and I couldn't find anything. I just kept finding a bunch of trash. So I eventually just moved straight up to Shaolin forms, and that's where I'm at now. And I don't necessarily want the dance itself to be fire, because I'm going to use the dance outside of fire situations. But I'm going to incorporate it in there for the acts.
Yeah, this stuff is cool.
It's good. It's cool.
Yeah.
You could see Hap doing that too, and it'd be really cool in like the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the fire. Like it's really neat.
You're excited.
I get excited about characters. I really like characters. I like flesh them out. I like making them my own and interesting.
I can tell.
I hope that it adds to the podcast because that's why
I'm surprised. I'm surprised you're level 2. I thought you guys would have been. I'm actually that last fight looked pretty deadly until you got that crit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both
oh my
of those crits.
The crit and the fear.
The fear was much better than I thought.
God.
The crit, if
The
you
evil eye.
didn't kill her, she was gonna do. What was the next one she was gonna do? Shocking grasp. That does 2d12 points of damage.
That can be nasty.
Yeah, it's good.
That could have
Now-
killed me.
Now that you have to do an attack roll. Because I
Right.
looked up grab and it's interesting. So and sure enough,
Or touch.
touch is so much better now because touch spells suck. But I was like, holy crap, it just works. Unless it says like that one is a perfect example. Like that's so strong that you have to actually hit. You have to do the cast a spell, then do an attack, and then touch them, and only then. So you can blow out. You can actually waste a spell, but if you hit, yikes! You know the damage is massive.
Because there's no save against the damage is the thing.
Right.
That way there's only one roll that you have to worry about. Does it crit or not?
Right. And the
I like
damage
it that way.
is insanely. And then if you're wearing metal, it even goes up higher. It's like that is a massively powerful spell. It was always good, but you could never use it in first edition. It was impossible to use because you could never get to touch someone. But here it's like, I touch you, I do ridiculous amounts of damage. Let's see how much damage that would have done. Ooh, that could have done 20 points of damage.
Oh
Look
my
at that.
gosh. Yeah, that's instant down. Actually, that's more than my maximum hit points.
I think my
I think that's
maximum hit
instant
points
dead.
goes up to 22. I think I'm at
More
22.
than double. That's right. So yeah, that would have downed me in one shot. Wouldn't have. If it had crit and done, it could have done 40.
crit,
That would have
it'd kill
instant
you.
killed me.
Level 1's just deadly.
Well, in our other game, you almost no one. We're very close. We're very close to instant killing people. But you can't get critted. If you get critted at level 1, you can instant die. Level 2, after level 1, it gets pretty hard. I mean, level 2, I guess you could instant die, but it's really hard to instant die after that. I don't know. We haven't gotten that far. We haven't really played past level 3 or 4, so I guess we'll find out.
You've been listening to Roll for Combat 3-Ring Adventure, a Pathfinder actual play podcast. If you have a question or comment for the show, please visit us at rollforcombat.com. You can also find us and play various games on our Discord channel at discord.rollforcombat.com. You've been listening to Roll for Combat. Until next week, always remember to extinguish any flaming party members.